Okay, we have the next question is about parallel lines or different time parallels and and how is related to the 3D, 4D, and 5D. Okay, so just to understand a little bit of the parallel realities. So one of the easiest way, there are many ways to visualize it, but one of the easiest way, or at least the way it helped me at the very beginning when I was talking to the Syrians to understand that parallel lines or timelines is about, they told me to visualize myself as a fish, a little fish. And then they said, like, imagine that I'm just floating somewhere and suddenly there is one bubble over like a drop of water passing through my eye. And for that millisecond, whatever I saw inside the bubble, that was my reality. And then let's say there's another drop coming after the first one. And then it's a different reality, just very similar to the previous one. So there are more and more drops of water passing by through my eyes. So even though every drop looked very similar to the previous one, they are different, slightly different. So then they told me, like, now imagine that you're a fish and you're swimming in a river when there's so many drops of water coming to you. They're just passing so fast that for you it becomes like a movie. So this is what you understand as reality. So every drop represents a reality or a parallel reality. And what this means is that we, our experience is basically us just moving through realities, and we are in many of those realities. I mean, we exist there, and that's why many times I mention that if we want to be a better version of ourselves, a different person, we just need to visualize that we are there, and what's going to happen is that we're going to move automatically to a different reality where we are already what we're visualizing. So it's not that we have to become that, we just have to start experiencing that reality that where we are already whatever we are trying to visualize. So this is one of the easiest ways how to visualize parallel realities, because we have this idea that time is linear, then we're moving from one place to another. But according to the higher dimensional being, that's how reality um, exists. There are, okay, we need much more context in order to understand this properly, but anyway, and in the books, just remember everything that I'm saying here is coming from the books. So in the book, you'll find much more context. I'm just trying to make these videos a little bit shorter. But anyway, I'll just try to answer the question, and I hope this helps to understand. It's just that it many things. I will use some examples. Okay, I'll go with the next question, but if it's not clear or if you want a specific more detailed question, just let me know in the comments, and I'll make it another video. I'll just try to make this video short. And the next question is regarding about the third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension. This is a huge topic, and I believe there's a lot of confusion here. For this, we will need a lot of context. In the books, there's context in pretty much all the books because I talk about this. And according to the higher dimensional beings, the idea of dimension can be just a perception, which means, there's a lot of confusion. We have to be careful with this because in physics, in quantum physics, there is one idea of that we have several dimensions. Okay, so even though they use the word dimensions, we are not talking about the same thing. According to the higher dimensional being, this is another idea of how to observe things, but it's not even close I mean, the quantum physics idea of dimensions is very different compared to the idea of dimension that the higher dimensional beings talk about. And I think many people confuse this and mix them and many other things. I don't agree with that. I have uh, an understanding based on the information from the higher dimensional beings about how the realities or these dimensions work. it I can talk a lot about this, but really this requires a lot of context. If there's one specific question, let me know in the comments, but we will need a lot of context. Read the books and let me know a specific question about the dimensions, because they're like just a huge topic. But anyway, it's important just to realize that there's a difference between the quantum physics dimensions and the spiritual dimension. They are not the same. They are totally different, even though we're using the same word. So according to some higher dimensional beings, mainly the Pleiadians, they're saying that the perception is what defines, because let's put it like this. Let's say that one person is only third dimensional, and then there's a fourth dimensional, and then a fifth dimensional. So when the perception of the person starts to expand based on the way they live and frequencies, they start to expand the way they can observe things. So they can be in the third dimension, but since they expanded their idea of things, they can be also in the third and fourth at the same time, and also in the fifth one. That's how many higher dimensional beings talk about it. Some beings have talked about once you are in one dimension, you disappear from one and you move to another one. And according to some higher dimensional beings, that's when you move literally from one to another and you disappear. You don't expand it, you just move from one to another. But you can expand and exist in both at the same time. The reality you experience it is different, but you're expanding your idea, because many beings outside the planet say that anything outside the planet to certain more than 100 kilometers, you experience a different reality. That they call it like the fifth dimension. I mean, this idea about dimension is they don't even exist, but as I said, it's a huge topic. Uh, we have to be more specific. So in the comments, just tell me more specific what kind of information you want to talk about, because this topic can be on and on forever. But in the books you can find, I think, clear enough to understand this. And it's interesting that in the first book I explained it in one way, then I added more context in the second book, more context in the third one, and then more in the fourth one. And I have much more context in the fifth one, but it's going to take me for some time for that one. And okay, I'm going to try to keep this video short, but please be more precise about the parallel realities that I mean, the topic that you want to talk about, and also about the dimensions. But I think I provided a little bit of context just to see a wider idea. And let me know what kind of details you want to talk about. Put it in the comments, and then we can talk about whatever you put there. And just keep sending more videos. And sorry, I'll just try to keep this video short and keep sending anything to react to, analyze. I'll give you my opinion, and this way we can just keep interacting with each other. And I really like this, because I feel like I'm talking to someone. I know who I'm talking to, who is asking, and I know the person that I'm talking to. But of course, this is for everyone, for us, and also for me, because I'm getting feedback of maybe something is not understood. And again, this is just my point of view. It doesn't mean that I know everything, but this is just my point of view, and I hope this is helping you. But for this topic, we really have to be more precise. And just let me know in the comments what kind of information you want to focus on, and we'll talk about it in another video. Okay, so thank you, and see you in the next video.